Hello and welcome to your restorative practice. My name is Yvonne and I'm a restorative and hatha yoga teacher, and I'm really pleased to be able to offer you this very short restorative session today. So what is restorative yoga? Simply put, it's a way to rest. It's a way to allow the nervous system to reset and recharge. It's allowing the nervous system to move from what's called fight or flight, the sympathetic nervous system, into the relaxation mode, the parasympathetic nervous system, which aids increased sense of well-being and decreases stress levels. So what's not to like? We use props to allow the body to relax, but for today I've kept it really simple, and we're just going to need one blanket and one bolster. So let's get started, and I'll tell you more about restorative as we go. So let's come to what's called effortless rest pose, with our feet down, knees up, feet about hip width apart. The blanket, with the restorative work, we always take the time to fold the blankets, making sure there's no lumps and bumps in them, because it does affect our practice. And always fold short edge to short edge to get the proportions. Have the smooth folded edge in towards you, hem edge away. And from here, placing our palms by our hips, rolling the shoulders down the back, inhaling, and on the exhale, slide the hips forward towards the heels, bending the elbows and coming to lay back on the blanket. Draw the heels in, line with the buttocks, lengthen the tailbone down towards the heels, and ensure that the blanket is just supporting head and neck and the shoulders are on the mat. So make sure the shoulders are fully connected. Place your elbows into the mat, palms facing each other, press into the elbows, lift the chest, draw the shoulder blades together, and then as you release, it spreads the shoulders into the mat. Lengthen the chin to the chest and decide where you'd like your arms. Slightly away from the body, palms facing up. Let the fingertips roll in towards one another. Softens the palm to soften the arm. Or you may like to lay your palms on the lowest ribs. And have a couple of breaths here. Lengthen the chin towards the chest to feel a nice stretch at the back of the neck. And then continue just observing the breath, moving into the practice. If you wear glasses, once you see me show you the pose, you can take the glasses off so you're able to relax further into the pose. So this is called effortless rest pose, conscious rest, and it's a really simple way to start to ground, start to relax into the practice. We can now step our feet as wide as the butt and just let the knees rest into one another. So you can see you literally only need a blanket for this one. The restorative work allows the nervous system to relax, as I said earlier, and the use of the props allows the body to fully rest. And today we're just going to be using a bolster and a blanket. We're moving from this supine, symmetrical pose into a twist. And then you'll have a Shavasana of your choice. Couple more breaths here. And then we'll start to move into a little windscreen wiper motion. And that's just oiling the vertebrae of the spine. Just a little bit of movement to help us stay in the postures. So very gently rolling to the outside of one foot, inside of the other, moving into the windscreen wiper motion, gently opening the front of the hip. And you can also bring your head into the motion. So as your knees go to one direction, you can turn your head to the other direction. And this is as much movement as you'll ever get in a restorative class, because it is about stillness. But this is just a nice way to start to open the body to allow us to be stiller. So one more on each side. Rolling to the outside of one foot, inside of the other. Doesn't matter if the knees touch. And then from here, bring the feet back to neutral, back into effortless rest. Extend the heels away from you, dorsiflex the feet so the toes are facing in towards you. Inhale, arms overhead. Just one more little stretch to settle us into the poses. And draw the knees in and rock gently from side to side. And then whichever side is easiest for you to come up from, you roll to that side and you look at the ground as you come up, head coming up last, coming into upright. So from here, grab your blanket, open the blanket to this height, fold it in half again, make sure it's nice and smooth, and you roll it, nice tight roll, and place that to one side. You grab the bolster, have the handle away from you, and you're sitting on your right hip, and you've got your right side right up against the bolster, knees are facing to the right. The blanket that you've neatly rolled, you're going to place in between your thighs, and that's to stop any groin grip. Your feet can be however feels comfortable. I like to hook my right foot behind my left. And then from here, placing my hands either side of the bolster, looking away from me, lifting the chest, spreading the palms, pressing them into the mat, just allowing the organs to turn to allow for the allow for the twist. So we're moving into a downward facing twist. Adho Mukha Jatara Paravatasana, which means downward facing belly twist. So inhaling, and on the exhale we bend the elbows, laying the chest down onto the bolster. Ground the forearms, have the forearms as wide as the mat. Turn the right ear to lay on the bolster. Keep the chin towards the chest, but then draw the head back slightly so it's sitting neatly on top of the spine. And then lengthen the hip away from the bolster. We sit close to make the twist, but once we're in, we draw the hip away to create space in the back waist. Bring the elbows level with the shoulders to create space across the shoulder. And just feel that lovely stretch down the right hand side of the body as you move into the twist. So you feel very supported, inhaling and exhaling, surrendering to the pose, relaxing the shoulders, giving your body to the props. So the beauty of the restorative is to allow you to release. And it's recommended that if you find one of the poses that you like, you can do that pose for 10 or 20 minutes each day to really help the nervous system. And that just promotes this sense of well-being and calm. The society we live in, it's really nice to be able to do that. Have a few more minutes, a couple more minutes on the right side, and then of course we will change over to do the left. We don't speak as much in the restorative work because the relaxation is about calm and stillness and quiet. And obviously if we keep talking, that kind of maybe interferes with that. So you have the odd breath cue. And we hold the poses for 5 minutes plus to allow that release of the sympathetic nervous system into the parasympathetic. Slowly start to deepen your breathing and start to walk your palms under your shoulders, pushing yourself to upright and pausing. And the easiest way for you to do the left side is for you to turn your back to the bolster and lay on your left hip. Now ideally I don't want my back to you, but it's good for you to see me in the second side of the pose. So as we were before, left hip, top of the left thigh against the bolster, blanket back between the thighs, hooking my left foot behind my right, palms either side of the bolster, gazing ahead once again, letting the organs turn, inhaling, and on the exhale bend the elbows, lay the torso down onto the bolster, turn and let the left ear rest on the bolster, forearms as wide as the mat, lengthen the hip away from the bolster, chin towards the chest, head back a bit, and enjoy the second side of the downward facing twist. Keeping connected to your breath, keeping inside of your practice, not engaging with any noises that you may hear outside of your practice room. Keep listening to the tambura soundtrack if you're listening to it. It's great for grounding and keeping you in the practice, aids relaxation as well as meditation. The thoughts will come, but the trick is not to engage. Enjoy your last few breaths on this side of the twist. Very slowly start to deepen your breathing and walk your palms under your shoulders, pushing yourself gently to upright and pausing. And just reflecting how you feel with the opening on the side body. The twists are both calming as well as energizing. And as we come out of the twist, fresh blood is released into the system. So from here, I invite you to choose your preferred Shavasana, gather the props that you would like, bolster maybe behind the knees, blanket for the head, cover yourself if you would like, your practice, you choose your Shavasana, and I invite you to stay for 15 or 20 minutes to really surrender into the practice. It was lovely to work with you today. Trust to see you again.